to be precise. He took one of his Tom Ford designer blazers from the rack and frowned at the brass buttons. They needed to be polished. Now. He pressed his finger down on the house intercom. "Henry," he bellowed, "meet me in my dressing room. Now." A soft voice replied, "I will be there right away, sir." Corbett tossed the Tom Ford blazer on the bed and then chose an Armani blazer to wear. He thumbed through his new collection of striped button-down shirts and picked a shirt from one of his favorite designers, Brioni. Recalling the $820 price tag, he snickered. Yes, he would almost look like $1,000,000. Almost. The jacket, shirt, Gucci shoes, and Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Concept 44mm titanium watch totaled almost $160,000. He'd leave the pinky ring home. No sense being ostentatious. He snickered to himself again. Tonight was the night he would reveal to the members of the yacht club that he would be displaying a painting at a private exhibit, one by Marc Chagall, that was once thought to have been stolen and burned by the Nazis. He had made arrangements to acquire it at a private sale brokered by Christie's. Tonight he was having a party, basically in honor of himself, at the yacht club. Once he had possession of the Chagall, he would hire a private security company, which would cost a small fortune, to deliver the artwork and keep guard over it during the gala he would hold at the club, then take it to a special locker at the Museum of Modern Art. He had made arrangements for the museum to borrow the painting in the fall. He wanted to spend his summer being known in the Hamptons as a great art connoisseur. Yes, his group of longevity doctors and their new protocol to moderate the progress of aging had brought him and his two partners the wealth to live an extravagant lifestyle, something he was enjoying immensely. He had a co-op in Manhattan, and now this modest home in Sag Harbor. Corbett knew that he and his partners would have to retire soon, before the world learned the truth. There were two old biddies who could ruin it all. Lorraine Thompson had died of an accidental overdose, and Marjorie Brewster had had an accident that sent her into convulsions, the treatment for which put her in a semi-conscious state. Even with the waivers and non-disclosure agreements their patients had agreed to, those incidents would eventually pop up on someone's radar. They had been lucky enough to fly under the radar for a good long while. These were simply a couple of mishaps. He, Marcus, and Steinwood had made a killing. He smirked. No pun intended. But enough of that. He picked a silk ascot, which added an additional $300 to his already ridiculously expensive ensemble, and left for the party. Chapter 1. Pinewood. Myra Rutledge repositioned herself on the antique settee on the terrace of her farmhouse. The letter she was holding in her lap was disturbing. Looking around at the luscious flowers overflowing their Italian terracotta pots, she inwardly smiled at their beauty. But that did not change the gloom that had descended on her. "Good morning, love," Charles, her husband and partner, said, giving her a peck on the cheek. "Why so glum? It's a spectacular day." Myra picked up the letter and handed it to Charles. "It's from Charlotte." "What seems to be the problem?" "This letter. She sounds very depressed and a little disoriented," Myra answered. Charles began to read. "My dear Myra, I am visiting Mary Ann in London. I thought it would be a good change of scenery for me, but I'm feeling rather low. I've been somewhat forgetful lately and get a little foggy at times. I am seeing a doctor here, Dr. Julian Marcus, who has me on a boatload of medications. He was recommended by my doctor in Aspen, Dr. Harold Steinwood, who took over Dr. Leland's practice. I was wondering if I could come by for a visit on my way back to Aspen. You always cheered me on. even when my first books